Coach, can you tell us anything?
Guys, you don't belong on this property.
Do you know if you're being fired today?
Are you being fired, Coach? Thank you, Coach, for your time. I appreciate it.
U of L coach Rick Pitino irritated as he leaves the team's practice facility this morning. Minutes later, he walks into the university president's office and leaves without saying a word.
Good morning. Thanks for being with us. I'm Rachel Collier.
And I'm Valerie Chin. Big developments this morning at the University of Louisville, and it's not over yet. What happens at a press conference at 1 this afternoon could determine the future of U of L basketball. WDRB crews are staked out around campus.
But we begin today's coverage with WDRB's Mara Sirianni at Grawemeyer Hall, where for a few short-lived moments earlier, there was a frenzy of activity. Mara, what did you see?
A hectic morning here at Grawemeyer Hall. Under 5 minutes, that is the amount of time U of L head basketball coach Rick Pitino spent inside, again, Grawemeyer Hall this morning. We know that he had a meeting with University interim president Greg Postal. This, of course, after details surrounding that federal investigation surfaced yesterday that includes U of L basketball. Now, on his way out, we asked Pitino if he had been fired this morning. He had no comment. I can tell you, though, he was not happy from the look on his face, just kind of a blank, even sad expression. Now, again, no words from Pitino here at Grawemeyer Hall following that meeting. And U of L athletics director Tom Jurich also had a meeting this morning with interim president Greg Postal. He also did not have much to say. We asked Jurich if he was concerned about being let go today. He said, quote, no idea. We also asked if he thought he should be let go today. Again, he said no idea. So still at this point, lots of questions surrounding what is going on here today. Again, both of those men spending just under 10 minutes inside the building today here at Grawemeyer Hall with interim university president Greg Postal. But again, there is that press conference here at 1 o'clock today on campus. So that should answer some of those questions. For now, reporting live from Grawemeyer Hall on the University of Louisville campus, Mara Sirianni, WDRB News.
Mara, thank you. Coach Pitino and players have been in and out of the team's practice facility all morning long.
WDRB's Mike Lissette caught Pitino leaving. Mike, tell us what Pitino had to say.
Well, it has indeed been an eventful morning at the Center practice facility. We watched players come in. We've watched players go out. We waited for Rick Pitino. We waited. We stationed people at each corner of the building. If you know the Center practice facility, there are 4 main entrances. The main one is in front of the building. There's a player's entrance on the side. There's a back entrance that people use in the VIP parking lot. And then there's this entrance right here. Now, this is the media parking lot only. And as you see all the way in the back there's a couple of barricades, so you can't access the parking lot from there. Of all the entrances, geographically, this would probably be the least likely that we would see Rick Pitino. But about 45 minutes ago, lo and behold, there he was. And we got a brief comment on him about the whole situation. Take a look.
Coach, can you tell us anything?
Guys, you don't belong on this property.
Do you know if you're being fired today?
Are you being fired, Coach? Thank you, Coach, for your time. I appreciate it.
And as you see, Pitino not in a good mood. That has been the entire theme of people coming and going into the building. We ran into Quentin Snyder, who was not happy. VJ King, Dang Adele, Stephen Enoch, all the players that were here. We saw Kenny Johnson come and go. Now, here's something interesting that has just developed. We saw what we believe to be an unmarked police car pull into this same side of the building that we saw Rick Pitino pull out of. A guy came from inside the building holding a desktop computer. He put it into the car, and then they sped away. Now, again, we don't know what was on the desktop or who these people were. It, again, was an unmarked police car. So this is something we will be following as we will be right here from the Yum Center practice facility for the remainder of the day. Reporting from the Yum Center practice facility, I'm Mike Lissette, WDRB Sports.
Mike, thank you. And we'll have that press conference live at 1 o'clock, so stay with WDRB.
And that press conference at 1 o'clock, Eric Crawford, our sports journalist, seems like we're kind of waiting for the inevitable with Tom Jurich and Rick Pitino's jobs. Is that what we're thinking is on the line here?
Exactly. A 1 o'clock press conference, as you said, called, and why wait at this point with a lot of people? A lot of sources will tell you a lot of different things, and we think we know what's going to happen, but you're talking about two guys who've been around for 16 and 20 years, and you want to make sure that what you say is accurate, and that's where we are. But it does appear that these guys who have been the brand of the University of Louisville Athletic Department and the brand of the University of Louisville basketball program, in some ways the university itself, will not be here after this 1 o'clock news conference, and it could be that you know, the last words that Rick Pitino says as basketball coach were, "You guys don't belong here," to our reporters at the Yum Center practice facility, and pretty soon he won't belong in that facility.
What does Pitino's contract, Jurich's contract say about changing their job status?
Well, Tom Jurich can be fired immediately for cause, and it could not just be for anything he does, but for anything that went on that he knew about that his staff was doing. Now, whether he knew about these things or not, this has been a time in coming for Jurich. There have been scandals piling up, not just on the athletic side, but with the U of L Foundation. There are questions about the size of his salary, where the money came from, why the foundation was giving so much money to athletics. Certainly those are questions for former President Jim Ramsey, but also for Jurich. Pitino's is a little more complicated. His contract requires him to be notified 10 days in advance of a firing, and it says the Board of Trustees has to fire him. The president alone can't do it. So there may still yet be some steps to take to remove Rick Pitino from his position, but we could well hear today that that's indeed their intention.
What do you think will happen to the program? What happens to the athletic director position? Who will be running the program? Who will be running the basketball program?
I wish I could answer. Those are the big questions that everything is now hinging on, and the reason is this program is facing some big-time NCAA trouble that may not be over. I mean, this is only beginning. That they could face a penalty as severe as what we call the NCAA death penalty, which would force them to sit out an entire basketball season, or maybe two, and the financial ramifications of that are huge. So everything the university is doing today is geared toward avoiding that. Who runs it in the interim? Rick Bozich will have a couple of columns up on that, just going through some names that we've heard. Junior Bridgman has been one thrown out as athletic director. Coach is wide open. The season starts in a week as far as practice. A lot of stuff to be decided yet.
Eric, thank you so much for your insight on this developing story.
And this is just the latest scandal to rock the University of Louisville.
WDRB's Lindsay Allen explains the headlines surrounding U of L have largely been about prostitution, postseason bans, and financial mismanagement.
It was the highest of highs for U of L and its fans. April of 2013, the men's basketball team clinches the NCAA National Championship. If only fans knew the sweet taste of victory would soon become bitter with the fatigue of scandal. October of 2015, the book Breaking Cardinal Rules is published. The author, Katina Powell, claims she was paid to provide sex and escort services for U of L players and recruits. The claims lead to an NCAA investigation. Trying to get ahead of possible sanctions, February of 2016, U of L announces a self-imposed postseason ban. But the problems extend beyond athletics. June of 2016, Kentucky Governor Matt Bevin abolishes the University of Louisville's Board of Trustees for its, quote, lack of transparency and professionalism. By July, James Ramsey steps down as president of the school amid a cloud of controversy. Soon after, he's also out as the president of the U of L Foundation. December 2016, the University of Louisville is placed on probation by its accrediting agency. June of this year, a scathing forensic audit reveals under former President Ramsey, U of L's nonprofit foundation depleted the university's endowment to fund excessive spending on things ranging from real estate to football tickets. That same month, the NCAA announces perhaps the harshest sanctions ever assigned to a Division I men's basketball program in the modern era. The school is ordered to vacate its basketball record from 2010 to 2014, including the 2013 men's basketball championship title. Coach Pitino is given a 5-game suspension for the upcoming season, and the school is ordered to return its financial shares from 4 NCAA tournaments. And that brings us to today, where U of L is tied to an FBI probe into college basketball recruiting.
Lindsay Allen, WDRB News.
A cold front is moving through.
Katie McGraw explains how much temperatures will drop. Katie?
Well, from today to tomorrow, it's going to be roughly about a 5 to 10 degree drop thanks to that cold front. But we're also going to see a few showers and storms fire off because of this front pushing through the area. For the time being, not much to show you on our radar. But if you notice just up to the north and west, that's where there's a little bit of some cloud cover. That's all associated with that cold front. But we're also expecting to see a few more showers and storms as well as this cold front continues to push through our area. But what you're going to notice more than anything, besides the shower and thunderstorm activity, which is very isolated, is the much cooler air that will infiltrate in. So currently we're seeing lots of sunshine. Clouds will start to build in, and it's already 82 degrees even before noon. That dew point sitting right into the middle 60s, which is a good measurement to feel how humid it is outside. Slightly humid, it's not terrible, but you're going to notice that muggy factor. And throughout the course of today, I'm keeping temperatures just shy of 90 degrees into the upper 80s. But we will have that potential for a few showers and thunderstorms, particularly in the afternoon and early evening. Then that front moves out of the area, and we're going to be a lot cooler by tonight and tomorrow morning. I'll tell you just how low we'll go coming up.
Katie, thank you. Dozens of smartphones, and police say this man stole them from his own company. What he allegedly did with the phones after he took them. Plus, only on WDRB, we show you the pills and drugs that led to criminal charges against a former Bullitt County chief deputy. And we'll carry the U of L press conference live at 1 p.m., where we're expected to learn the future of Coach Rick Pitino and athletic director Tom Jurich.
A man is accused of stealing over $30,000 worth of smartphones from his employer.
Police say 31-year-old Drell Wright worked at a local tech company called Ingram Micro. While working there, he allegedly took between 50 and 90 smartphones worth $38,000 between December of last year and March of this year. Police say Wright then sold them online for up to $500 per phone. Wright was arrested Tuesday evening and is charged with theft by unlawful taking. For the first time, we're seeing the drugs and pills that led to criminal charges against a former Bullitt County chief deputy.
In a story you'll see only on WDRB, we show you the evidence investigators collected.
Once it was open.
One bag of marijuana and another sealed bag. Newly released body camera video shows investigators searching the office of former Bullitt County Chief Deputy John Cottrell. This was after he was fired in October of 2016. Investigators say about 4 years ago, a property report shows Cottrell checked out 4 sealed bags of marijuana from the evidence room. Now 2 are missing. They estimate the street value is $4,000 for the 2 missing pounds.
If you are a police officer and you have felony charges hanging over your head, you cannot work. We want to get this in front of the court as soon as possible.
Cottrell was indicted last week and pled not guilty to drug theft, abuse of public trust, official misconduct, and other charges. Investigators are holding up pill bottles found in his office not prescribed to Cottrell. They also found a package with a cigar and marijuana, along with an evidence bag with synthetic marijuana. The sheriff's office says Cottrell called after he was fired to tell them about hydrocodone pills in his file cabinet and a duffel bag with marijuana, saying they were for a reverse drug task force sting. But records show a former deputy says a person involved in the marijuana sting never showed up.
What do you want to say to the public about what John Cottrell is accused of doing?
I would not say anything. We just let the jury trial speak for itself.
Cottrell also faces charges for forging a deputy identification badge for his girlfriend to work off-duty. He's pleaded not guilty to those charges, too. His whistleblower lawsuit against a now indicted former Bullitt County sheriff is still pending.
Investigators say the marijuana came from a case in 2011. The latest scandal at U of L leaves many wondering about the future of the basketball program.
WDRB sports journalist Rick Bozich analyzes the possible fallout and what the next step is for the university. Stay with WDRB for continuing coverage. We'll stay on for the 1 p.m. press conference with U of L. Katie?
Right now, things are very quiet in the weather department. We are seeing lots of sunshine. It's still warm. It's still humid, but a cold front is going to change all of that. I'm going to time it all out for you coming up.
WDRB weather, sponsored by VisionWorks, Doctors of Optometry.
All is quiet for the time being, 82 degrees, dew point of 65, so it's a little humid. It feels slightly warmer than that actual air temperature, heat index of 84. I think that we're going to be shy of that 90-degree mark for today, but we're still going to be very warm into the upper 80s. Notice a few locations still into the middle 70s like Jasper and Bedford, but most of Kentuckiana into the lower and middle 80s. And we are going to continue to see that warming trend throughout the course of today. Not much to show you on the radar for the time being. There's a lot of sunshine, but you do see a couple of these clouds just up to our north and west. That's all associated with a cold front. This cold front is doesn't have a lot of moisture associated with it, but you are going to notice that temperature decrease, that dew point decrease, and some of us will see a few showers and thunderstorms. So let's time it all out for you. Around 2 to 3 p.m. is when I think that we'll see the most shower and thunderstorm activity start to develop, and it's going to continue until about 7 or 8 p.m. So a pretty small window of time to see these very isolated showers and thunderstorms. Typically when cold fronts push through, you get a lot more moisture than that. But today, we're just going to have some more of these isolated showers and storms. So I'm going with a high of 87 degrees, some afternoon and early evening showers and storms, but only at about a 20% chance. So it's a good shot to see no rain at all. And then for tonight, this is when you're going to start to notice that temperature change. And into tomorrow morning, a few clouds, cooler. Notice 60 degrees this morning. We were waking up to the upper 60s in downtown. So roughly about 5 to 10 degrees cooler for our low temperature and our high temperature. So today 87, tomorrow 77, and notice that this yellow bar right here in the middle, that's our average number of 77 degrees. We're going to stay into the middle 70s throughout really the rest of this week and into the weekend. Saturday is going to be one of our coolest days with a high of 73 degrees. Mind you, the dew point at this point is going to be into the low 50s and 40s, so incredibly comfortable as well. And we're also going to have a lot of sunshine. Friday, Saturday, Sunday, we're going to have plenty of sun and just a few clouds across the area. Now checking in with Hurricane Maria, and it is a hurricane once again at 75-mile-per-hour winds, gusting up to about 85. It's expected to move up to the north, over to the east in the course of the next couple of days, and then move into the North Atlantic, and it will become a tropical depression at that point. The rest of this week looks really good all the way into the weekend. Do we continue that downward trend in the temperatures, or do we go back up? I'll tell you that in the next half hour.
All right, Katie, thank you. Fallout from a scandal, how a federal investigation into U of L could complicate future deals at the KFC Yum Center. And we expect to learn more about the future of Coach Rick Pitino and Athletic Director Tom Jurich in a news conference in just over an hour. We are extending this newscast until that 1 p.m. conference to keep you updated. Plus, high school seniors don't have much time left before college applications are due. The crucial steps parents and students need to take right now to be college ready next fall.
It's the time of year for high school seniors to get to work if they plan on attending college next fall.
WDRB's Candace Clift speaks with a guidance counselor who shares the best approach to applying for college.
We can have to figure out what native advertising is. Yeah.
Hitting the books is just one priority for these Oldham County High School seniors. Taking the ACT, applying to college, and filling out financial aid forms are also on the list.
This time of year is really just kicking off the college application process. So they should be looking at schools that they're interested in, going to their websites, talking with admission reps when they come to visit their high schools. There's a lot of college fairs.
Guidance counselors are a student's best friend in this process. If you haven't already, get to know the counselor. This applies to students and parents who need help in this process. Next, start exploring school websites for information about tuition, housing, admission requirements, and scholarships.
Another thing that's great about websites for families now is every college by federal law is required to have a net price calculator for their institution on there.
You will use your last tax return to calculate the cost to attend a school. Next, fill out the FAFSA. the free application for federal student aid.
Everyone needs to fill out the FAFSA because it is the first step both for aid, but then also for scholarship consideration. So whether it be academic scholarships, athletic scholarships, work studies on campus, any of those kind of things, it is a requirement there's a FAFSA on file before any of that can be dispersed.
Kentucky moved the FAFSA application date to October 1st. It's important to fill out the form as soon as possible,
because there's a finite amount of money that the state gets from federal government in those grant programs.
Qualifying students who wait too long could miss out on money that would have helped pay for college. Counselors say you don't have to know where you want to attend school to fill out the FAFSA. Candace Cliff, WDRB News.
Forget 3D, there's a new way to experience movies at the Green Tree Mall. Skyline 5D Cinema shows interactive movies using 3D glasses and special effects. The chairs are made for a roller coaster so they can move, dip, and shake to give moviegoers a unique experience.
Whatever's happening in the movie is actually happening around you. So you are feeling like you are inside the movie.
The full Skyline 5D experience costs $7. You can catch a movie during typical mall hours. Let's take a look at what's trending now on our website, WDRB.com. A man, his girlfriend, and son are all held at gunpoint during a home invasion. How the suspects allegedly further threatened the victims by calling another country.
Police are looking for 2 people accused of stealing a trailer from a southern Indiana HVAC business. Why police believe they may be connected to other thefts in the area. A KSP trooper is caught on video verbally and physically assaulting a road crew. What witnesses say happened leading up to the altercation.
To read these stories, go to WDRB.com. Here's a look at what's making headlines now on WDRB News at noon. He walks in, and 4 minutes later, Rick Pitino walks out of the interim president's office. And he doesn't say a word. Did this latest scandal cost him his job? We're about to find out.
Thanks for staying with us on WDRB News at noon. I'm Valerie Chin.
And I'm Rachel Collier.
Big developments at the University of Louisville. Both the athletic director and head basketball coach were seen on campus this morning.
WDRB's Mara Suriani is outside of Grawemeyer Hall, where we could learn about their future in about an hour. Mara?
What time is it now? Oh, it is 1?
We are here at the Miller IT building on the University of Louisville campus. You can see some students behind me kind of filing in and out. This is where that 1 o'clock press conference is scheduled to take place. They are setting up inside, and it was a hectic morning over at Grawemeyer Hall. I want to show you some video now of Louisville head coach Rick Pitino walking in and out of Grawemeyer Hall this morning for a meeting. I can tell you he was there for under about 5 minutes. Again, that meeting was with interim university president Greg Postal. This, of course, after details surrounding that federal investigation surfaced yesterday that includes U of L basketball. Now, on his way out, we asked Coach Rick Pitino if he had been fired this morning. He had no comment for us. I can tell you, though, he was not happy just from the blank look on his face there. Again, no words from Coach Pitino as he left Grawemeyer Hall this morning. And we also saw U of L athletics director Tom Jurich. He had, again, a meeting with interim president Greg Postal. He also did not have much to say. We asked Jurich if he was concerned at all about being let go today. He said, quote, no idea. And then we asked if he thought he should be let go. Again, that same answer, I have no idea, from Jurich. So again, both of those men going in and out of Grawemeyer Hall this morning for their meeting with Louisville interim president Greg Postal. And of course, we still have a lot of questions surrounding what exactly has been going on this morning, and those questions will certainly be answered at this 1 o'clock press conference right here at the Miller IT building on campus. We're live from the University of Louisville. Mara Siriani, WDRB News.
Mara, thank you. And Coach Rick Pitino was seen at the Yum practice facility and Grawemeyer Hall.
WDRB's Mike Lissette asked the coach if he expects to be fired today. Mike?
Well, guys, perhaps Rick Pitino taking in his final moments as head coach of the Louisville Cardinals. There has not been much of an update since we last saw you about a half hour ago. We can tell you about an hour ago, Rick Pitino left the facility through a side entrance down there. About 15 minutes later, he showed up again in that car right there. and that car right there has been stationed there for a good 45 minutes. There's been a lot of comings and goings throughout the day here at the Yum Center practice facility. We've seen players leave, guys like Quentin Snyder, Stephen Enoch, VJ King, Ray Spalding. All have looked very sad. I asked at one point Dang Adele, what's the latest? He said, I didn't know. I assume that's not true. I assume he does know, and I assume it's not good. Now, back to Pitino. Mentioned he left the facility about an hour ago at the entrance down there. We were the only ones who were able to catch up with him as he left the building. We asked for comment. We didn't get much. We did get this.
Coach?
Can you tell us anything?
Guys, you don't belong on this property.
Do you know if you're being fired today?
Are you being fired, Coach? Thank you, Coach, for your time. I appreciate it.
All right, so obviously, as you see, Rick Pitino not happy, and the situation could obviously get worse. A couple of minutes after he left, an unmarked police car, we believe to be, pulled up that same entrance that Pitino exited. Coming out of the building was a man. In his arms were a desktop computer. We'll be keeping an eye on that situation as it develops. Reporting now, though, from the Yum Center practice facility, I'm Mike Lissette, WDRB Sports.
Mike, thank you. Sports journalist Rick Bozich is here with reaction. And when you look at those videos with Jurich and Pitino leaving U of L so quickly, what does that indicate to you?
Well, it indicates their future is obviously up in the air. I think obviously we'll know a lot more in an hour. There have been some reports that they won't be back. I think those are a little bit premature at this point. But it's also just the jarring juxtaposition of how important and how powerful those guys have been at University of Louisville for 20 years for Jurich and for Rick Pitino since 2001.
Seeing Rick Pitino's demeanor there, you made a comment how ironic it was just about a week and a half ago. What was he doing?
Yeah, just a week and a half ago, he was on national TV on ESPN wearing Lamar Jackson's number 8 jersey, making the celebrity picks on ESPN's Sports Center game day thing, and he was having a great time posing, doing flexes.
The press conference is at 1 o'clock. We'll carry that live. But what do you think the next step should be for the university?
Well, the next step is going to be for them to further investigate, what exactly has happened and what they can get from Coach Pitino and the basketball staff and what their knowledge is of the things that were released yesterday by the federal prosecutors and make a determination over the next 10 days, 2 weeks for their future.
What's next for the program? We're talking about the athletic director and the basketball coach, both.
Huge implications not only for the basketball program but for the athletic department at large, because the athletic department depends upon the revenue from the basketball program. All of these coaches who are here, and it's a powerful stable, have been hired by Tom Jurich. They're tremendously loyal to him. They respect him. They've extolled him throughout all of these difficulties U of L's gone through, and you wonder what kind of turnover they would have in other coaching positions.
How do you think the university can repair its image? Fans are seeing scandal after scandal.
Well, most people will say just by turning the page and moving forward, bringing in an entire new roster of people, and you can't do it overnight. It takes time to build back people's trust, their enthusiasm, the respect of the other people around the conference. It's not going to be an easy project, but it'll just have to be a very deliberative one. And the one thing they have in their favor, it's a very loyal fan base. There is no professional sports team here. People love the University of Louisville, and I think fans will be eager to help be part of a rebranding or a rebuilding.
Where do you think Rick Pitino could go next? What could his future hold?
Wow, I don't know. I mean, I think he just turned 65 this month. I would see that he would be somebody who would have a future in television as an analyst. He's really good at that. In terms of coaching, I wouldn't see it be a situation where he'd be able to get another coaching job. I could see him moving into the TV world, public speaking. He could write another book. I don't know.
Rick Bozich, thank you so much for your insight.
Thank you.
And reaction keeps pouring in over these developments. Jeff says blaming Pitino for the problem is ridiculous. Do you blame the CEO of a company when someone under them embezzles money? No, you don't. You prosecute the person who is guilty. You depend on the people you hire to do the job they were hired to do. It's now Pitino's job to fix the problem. Davey says bottom line, the one at the end of the scandal that suffers are all the Cards fans. Nick says the dust hasn't settled at all. This will be massive, affecting majority of universities and NCAA as a whole. And T says Rick never knows what is going on with his team. With every scandal, he pleads his ignorance, even though he's a head coach and there should be nothing going on around his team that he doesn't know about. You can still comment. Just go to our WDRB Facebook page.
The U of L investigation could also complicate future deals at the KFC Yum Center. The Yum Center is home to U of L basketball, which is one of the venue's main sources of cash. U of L boasts the top money-making program in college basketball. The Louisville Arena Authority relies on that revenue to pay off its construction debt. The Arena Authority plans to refinance its bonds on the Yum Center this fall, but arena officials need investors to buy in. WDRB's Marcus Green says if bond buyers worry about the future of U of L basketball, that could complicate getting the deal done.
If Louisville basketball were to be hit with sanctions, or if a change occurred that would impact attendance, there could definitely be an impact on the revenue streams that are generated at the Yum Center from U of L basketball.
The arena's new deal must be finalized in December. We'll still be warm today, but we won't hit the 90s.
Katie McGraw explains a chance for storms, though.
Yeah, we will see the potential for a few showers and thunderstorms. It's not going to be a widespread rain event by any stretch of the imagination. Only about a 20% chance for today's storm. So we're going to have more dry conditions than wet. Currently, not much to show you on our radar. It is all clear, but you notice that little bit of cloud cover just up to our north and over to the west. That's all ahead of this cold front that is expected to push through the area today. And what you're really going to notice, besides the shower and thunderstorms, is the much cooler air that pulls into the area. It's also going to drop our dew points, so therefore it's not going to be as humid. Currently, it's 85 degrees, that dew point of 66, so it feels like 87. So although my high temperature for today is not into the 80s, into the 90s, it might still feel like 90 degrees because of those sticky dew points. And this is what our hour by hour looks like. Temperatures into the middle 80s throughout most of the day, upper 80s for our highs with a 20% chance starting at about 2 p.m. until about 8 p.m. So a 6-hour window to see those very isolated showers and storms, and then partly cloudy skies for tonight. But tonight and into tomorrow morning, you're really going to notice that temperature change. We'll talk about just how low we'll go and if we're going to continue to see fall-like conditions, or will we warm back up in that 7-day coming up.
Katie, thank you. 9 police officers sent to the hospital. What officials say the officers came in contact with while serving a search warrant.
And a southern Indiana man accused of having child pornography on his cell phones. How police say the man targeted underage girls.
The future of U of L basketball. We're expected to learn if Coach Rick Pitino and Athletic Director Tom Jurich still have jobs. We'll carry the 1 p.m. press conference live. President Donald Trump visits Indianapolis today to promote the federal tax overhaul effort.
The president is trying to persuade Democratic Indiana Senator Joe Donnelly to support it. Trump is scheduled to speak at the Indiana Fairgrounds at 5 o'clock tonight. He spoke at the fairgrounds twice last year during his campaign. Indiana's Governor Eric Holcomb won't attend the speech because of a prior commitment. The plan to get rid of the Affordable Care Act is defeated again. The Senate will not vote this week on the latest effort to repeal and replace it. At least 3 Republican senators say they cannot support the Graham-Cassidy bill. That means the bill does not have enough votes to pass. Majority Leader Mitch McConnell told reporters, quote, "We haven't given up on changing the American healthcare system. We aren't going to be able to do it this week." McConnell says Senate leadership will now focus on passing tax reform.
A southern Indiana man is accused of molesting a young girl and having child pornography on his cell phone. The Jackson County prosecutor says investigators found more than 90 images on several devices that belong to Corey Jones. She says 9 pictures appear to be children under the age of 16. 3 appear to be children under the age of 5. Jones is accused of targeting underage girls on social media.
At some point in time, when he felt more comfortable, he would ask them if they would send him naked or partially naked photos of themselves.
Jones is now also facing charges in a 2011 molestation incident. He's also accused of child solicitation in Owen County.
We are currently seeing lots of sunshine across the area, and it's going to be another hot and humid one with temperatures just shy of 90 degrees. But notice this cloud cover and rain out to our west. It's moving towards our area. I'm going to time it out for you coming up.
U of L coach Rick Pitino and athletic director Tom Jurich aren't commenting about their jobs, but at 1 p.m. we're expected to find out if they were fired. Stay with WDRB for the press conference. We'll carry it live.
WDRB weather, sponsored by VisionWorks, Doctors of Optometry.
Currently, we're seeing lots of sunshine across Kentuckiana and downtown. It's 85, dew point of 66. So it's making it feel like 87, so 2 degrees warmer, a little bit of a heat index. Other temperatures across Kentuckiana, basically everybody into the 80s. We have Jasper holding on to those upper 70s at 79, but most of us into about the middle 80s. 84 is a popular number from Lanesville to E-Town, down into Litchfield, all at 84. But notice when we look at the temperature change in the past 24 hours, we were the same yesterday at this time, but not the same scenario out to our west. Anywhere from 10 to 20 degrees cooler from Indy to Chicago to St. Louis. All of that cooler air is going to be infiltrating into our neck of the woods over the course of the next day. So lots of clear, beautiful conditions for the time being. Not much to show you on our radar, but if we widen out this perspective, you're able to see all this cloud cover, a little bit of rain too, and that's all associated with this front, and that's exactly where the front is positioned. Today, the showers and thunderstorms probably won't have that big of an impact on your day. They're going to be around, but they're very isolated. What you're going to notice more is that major cool down in the next day, along with the dew points dropping as well, so it's not going to be nearly as humid. So today it's a good idea to have the umbrella with you, especially once we get to the afternoon and early evening. So from about 2 to 8 p.m. is our best chance to see these showers and storms, but notice that they're very hit or miss across the area, and then they'll die off just like they came. So it's not going to be a real large opportunity to see this rain, and still a good chance for you to stay dry throughout the entire day. Going with a high of 87 degrees, afternoon and evening storms, and then for tonight that completely drops off, a 0% chance of rain, but it is going to be a lot cooler, 60 degrees at that point. So compare that to this morning's temperatures. We're roughly 5 to 10 degrees cooler, and that's a theme that we're going to continue to see with our high temperature as well. Going from 87 to 77, which is actually right on par for the normal or average temperature for this time of the year. And we're going to stay into the middle and lower 70s throughout the rest of this weekend. Lots of sunshine Friday, Saturday, Sunday. It's pretty much going to be picture perfect for the next couple of days and very fall-like. But we are checking in with Hurricane Maria. It was a tropical storm earlier this morning. Now it's back to a hurricane status as it continues to churn off of the East Coast. It's expected to make a right turn and then move into the cold North Atlantic waters, and that's where it will finally become a depression at that point. Now temperatures are going to be the coolest on Saturday, 73, and some of us waking up into the 40s. But notice as we get into next week, temperatures getting back into the lower 80s. A 20% chance for a few more showers and storms on Tuesday.
Katie, thank you. Continuing with our coverage on U of L, there have been major changes over the past year at the school. The university now has a new board of trustees and an interim president. The U of L Foundation also has a new board, and the search for a new president is underway. WDRB's Chris Otts explains the push for a fresh start.
They were really hoping to get past all of these things, and here is yet another thing that is going to be negative publicity for the university, and it is unfortunate.
The university says enrollment is down 2% this semester compared to last year, but officials say it's a normal fluctuation and not a cause for concern.
A free wedding might sound like a dream come true, but there was a catch: how this couple threw their wedding together in just one day.
Plus, we're getting closer to the 1 o'clock press conference at U of L, where we anticipate learning about the future of Rick Pitino and Tom Jurich. Stay with us. We will be on the air and carry that press conference right here on WDRB.
A WDRB News Alert. University of Louisville men's basketball coach Rick Pitino and athletics director Tom Jurich have been placed on administrative leave until the next Athletics Association board meeting in October. This is according to a WDRB news source close to Jurich. University spokesman John Carmen said reports of Pitino and Jurich's firings on Wednesday are inaccurate, but declined to comment further.
We are about 30 minutes away from the 1 o'clock press conference at U of L, where we are hoping to hear from the president of the university. Stay with us. We will be on the air and we'll carry that press conference right here live. We have a team of journalists on campus to gather details and reaction.
Both Coach Rick Pitino and Athletic Director Tom Jurich were seen this morning but wouldn't comment on the status of their jobs. This comes after a federal investigation into bribery involving recruits. We are extending this newscast. Stay with us for special coverage. It's coming up right at 12:30.